Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today we're going to talk about my 7-star Rank 3 Silver Surfer. If at any point in this video you enjoy it, consider hitting the like button, and if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. It helps me out, helps push the video out to other people, and helps the channel grow, so I would appreciate it. Plus, we do a lot of cool things over here. So, a while back when I explored Act 8, I got a Cosmic Rank 3 gem, and I didn't know who to rank up, so I did a community poll asking my viewers who should I rank up, and as you guys can see, Silver Surfer was the lowest ranked option. And I just wanted to see what you guys would do in my shoes, and a lot of people, they're kind of confused as to why I ranked up Silver Surfer. I love Silver Surfer. I think he's been significantly underrated ever since he joined the contest. I think a lot of people were just like, oh, he's just a prestige champion. I think he's a lot more than just a prestige champion, and this dude has been one of my favorite champions ever since I've been playing the game, really. He was one of my first few rank 3 6-stars, as you guys can see from that screenshot up on the video. So yeah, I decided to just go against the poll and do what I wanted to do because, it's a game and it's fun. The whole point of playing a game is to have fun, and that's what I'm trying to do. I think Silver Surfer is great. I did rank him primarily for prestige, surprisingly enough. I had 3 unduped rank 3s at the time. Overseer was the only duped one, so my prestige was pretty lacking, and it gave me a good excuse to say, yeah, I'm gonna rank up Silver Surfer for prestige, when in reality, I just love the character so much. So as I've been rambling, we've been nuking these 500,000 health pool opponents as if it's nothing. The first showcase was no synergies, or I think one synergy. It was the Overseer synergy for the precision on the special 2, and then the next was just a full team, just to show you how nuts he can get with a full team. But we're getting right into Battlegrounds, and we're starting off with one of the most annoying defenders in the game, and that is Onslaught. So Onslaught can counter miss, which makes my heavy attack phase a little bit tricky to go for, and it's a bit harder to go for. But if you don't have a Neuroshock on you, you can use the phase and do kind of what I did there. Phase a part of the special. If I was ready for it, I would have dexed it, but we have no Neuroshocks on us, so I can just charge my heavy, throw the heavy there, and then we can get our buffs. So now we are fully ramped against this Onslaught, and it's only about 30 seconds into the fight. And as you guys can see, we're hitting really hard on our basic attacks. I don't know how he parried that relic there, or that striker, but we did some really solid damage there, and we're going in for a stand-up intercept. We are unblockable, so we can do that. And right here, we're just trying to bait a heavy attack so we can get in there, do a 5-hit combo if needed, and then throw the special 1 if needed, and that would have closed out the fight. So if I didn't get hit, that would have been a lot higher of a score, but we get hit sometimes, so we don't play that great. But this rotation that I'm using is the Battlegrounds rotation that I use for Silver Surfer. It's 2 Furies and then a heavy attack for the power gain into a special 2. That way you have 3 buffs active when you launch the special 2, and you maximize your damage that way. In Battlegrounds, you'll have the aptitude from the Thor relic if you're, Thor relic if you're using it, and that's the relic that I like to use on Silver Surfer because he can refresh that aptitude, and his kit treats it as if it's his own aptitude. So he gains all kinds of benefits from it, not just increasing buff potency, but it also increases the potency of the combat power rate buff he gets, also gives him extra damage. All in all, it's a really good relic for him, and you don't even need to use a high rarity one. You could use a low rarity one, and you're getting all that extra damage just from having another buff. It's really solid. So we are going against, I believe this is a rank 3 Shuri, and we phased that whole special, or most of that special 1 there. That's one of my favorite things about Silver Surfer, is that he can just ignore annoying special attacks by phasing through it. Obviously, if your buffs are going to fall off, you want to prioritize your buffs. It's easy to ramp back up, but in Battlegrounds, you can just take a little bit of chip damage. Right here, I get hit by a special attack. It is what it is. But we can go in here for an intercept, throw the heavy attack, and get the armor. Now we're fully ramped, and there's not much that'll stand in our way. This special 1 here will close out the fight. and I believe that's a rank 3 Shuri down in 56 seconds, which is not bad at all. And beating a Red Guardian against Sasquatch, not too bad here. I think we lose this fight here, but I wanted to show off how Silver Surfer, while he does have armor break debuffs, he doesn't need them. He is still really strong with just the buffs in his kit. The armor breaks are more there for just utility. They're not really super useful for his damage, if we're being completely honest. But I wanted to show how to change his playstyle so you can work against Zemo here. So Zemo would have rooted us if we used our heavy attack to convert our buffs. So instead I used a special 1. That triggers the 3 armor breaks, and that also got rid of his 3 cleanse passives that he had, or 2 cleanse passives that he had left. And now look, we are fully ramped. He's got 5 cleanses, so we are allowed 1 buff refresh with our heavy attack, and then the next would have to be a special 1. But he's going to be dead before then. So yeah, we're just going to go in here, do a heavy charge, and then just go right into the special 2 there, since we're fully unblockable. And I don't know what to say. I mean, that was really solid. Obviously, Kate Bishop's going to do Kate Bishop things, and she's probably the best skill champ in the game. But yeah, this dude placed his Kingpin down, and I think he thought that he was going to smoke me against my future Ant-Man with Hercules. I don't know. There's a lot of people who don't know the strength of Silver Surfer, and that's fine, but I'm here to try to show you guys how strong this guy is. Yeah, we're going to be ramping Kingpin and giving him his overpower debuff, but that is also allowing us to reduce his combat power rate, because if you guys don't know, he gains additional combat power rate for each non-damaging debuff on him. So when we remove those, we're actually having to bait less special attacks from Kingpin. So it's a really solid fight here, and we're just going to close out this fight here with a special 2 and then a basic combo to follow it up. So I bait a heavy attack here just to ensure that he doesn't throw the special 2 when he stands up, and that's 46 seconds for a rank 6 Kingpin, essentially 50,000 points. Like, that's really solid. And yeah, the guy was sad that he didn't clutch it out against me. We saluted afterwards. I don't want him to look like a dick, but yeah, it was funny. Next up, we've got a rank 3 Warlock, one of the more annoying defenders in Battlegrounds, because you always have willpower active and you can't just turn it off for one specific fight. So Surfer is actually generally a really solid counter for this guy, because he has a lot of unique buffs and he will reduce the duration of the infection. Sadly, I didn't push him to, or I didn't go to special 1. That way the shock would have increased our damage, but it's fine. Because this fight is going to be over with very quickly here. We also have the armor break from converting the power cosmic buff into one of our rotating buffs. So that allows us to remove the armor up buff, allowing us to crit on special attacks. But Silver Surfer has burst damage on his special attacks, so he's not super reliant on critting during his specials anyways. Next up, we've got a basically rank 6 future Ant-Man, Sig 200, and Silver Surfer is honestly a really solid option here as well. We're going to be turning his armor up buffs into passive buffs, or passive armors, but it's really not a huge deal. We just got to be able to land some intercepts, and like right here, he's got the 3 armor breaks and no armor ups, so it's just, you got to play a little bit slower. But Silver Surfer is one of those fun champs where you can kind of switch up his rotation a little bit, and he's still going to perform super fine. That was a 22,000 medium crit, by the way. Yes, we have the Counter-Strike node helping us out here, but that is some really strong damage there. We're going to go in here for heavy attack. We're just going to block the special 2. The armor up buff is actually pretty potent, and it's pretty sweet. And then I tried to go for an intercept there. If I didn't go for an intercept and I just closed out the fight, I think we would have been fine, and we would have finished with above 50,000 points, but because I got clipped, we did not. Next up, we have Mike and his rank 3 Hulkbuster, and this is going to be a 35-second fight. It's nuts. So every time you crit Hulkbuster when he has an armor up buff, I think it's a chance. I don't know if it's guaranteed, but I know he will convert the armor up into a shock on you, which is giving you willpower healing, and shock debuffs and incinerate debuffs count towards Silver Surfer's part of his abilities, where they count as like unique buffs for his special 2. So it's gonna juice up our special 2 damage, and that burst damage was just really good on that special attack. So full yellow bar, and I believe that was 36 seconds, so really not that bad at all. Next up, we've got a Zone 15, or Sector 15, Sector 5, Zones 15 Odin boss. So this guy's got buffet over time, so he's going to be nullifying our power cosmic buff. But I did want to show you guys just how strong Silver Surfer is against, or in incursions. So as you can see, all those buffs that aren't native to his kit, he just refreshed them, which is just nuts. And then a thing that you can't really see very well, his signature ability increases the potency of all buffs by a certain percentage. So in instances like that, where you're gaining all kinds of extra buffs, he is increasing the potency of every single buff placed on him, even like aptitude and stuff like that, or power gain. So he's an incursions monster for that reason, because if you use strategic movement, you can increase all the potency of those fury buffs by like 20%, which is what I think my Silver Surfer increases them by, since he's, I think, Sig 100. It maxes out at 50% increase at Sig 200, which I'm gonna be really happy with when I get that. But like, to put that into perspective with how strong that is, at Sig 200, Silver Surfer essentially has 3 fury buffs, because 50% of one is 50%, and then another one, add the 250s, that's 1 extra buff essentially. So Sig 0 to Sig 200, you're essentially getting an extra fury buff, which can be huge in certain matches, like in Battlegrounds. It's just so much extra damage. So I don't know, I think this dude's pretty underrated. Does he need his signature ability? Not really, in my opinion. Funny enough, Silver Surfer at, I think, 7-star rank 2 Sig 0 out damages a rank 5 Sig 200 Silver Surfer. I might be incorrect on like the what's it called, like the rank differences there, but there's a certain point at where like 7-star low Sig Silver Surfer is just going to be way better than a max Sig 6-star. I initially did the testing when I took him up to rank 2. I have a video out on him at rank 2, but yeah, I think that 7-star Surfer, if you have him like low Sig or even unawakened, if you like the playstyle of the character and you think he's fun, it's not a bad rank up at all, in my opinion. He's still super useful and can do so much. One of the coolest things that he can do that you guys are seeing is create his own openings. So his special 2 is unblockable, and it's kind of similar to like the value that Hulkling has with his opening creation. Silver Surfer can just rip a special 2 into the opponent's block. He goes unblockable, and he doesn't have to worry about creating an opening and making sure that they're not blocking, or making sure you're chaining a special from a combo. He's just like, all right, you're blocking, I'm just gonna hit you, and I love it. That was a very quick path where I'm not even sure what's going on there. I believe they take extra damage for each buff on you, so that's why I wanted to show him there. And then this node here, you gain extra buffs externally from the nodes, so I wanted to use this as a showcase to show how he increases the potency of all these buffs from his signature ability, as well as his ability to just refresh them with his own kit. So right there, we refreshed we're not going to be able to refresh all the buffs there, because we used a same rotating buff type. So if we want to refresh these, we have to go for a different type, which is the power gain there, and that's why we're able to refresh all 3 of those fury buffs, one of which came from parry vulnerability. The 2 came from his base kit, and we're increasing the potency of all those buffs, by the way. So it's just a recipe for a lot of damage, and it's fun. I'm pretty biased towards Silver Surfer. I think he's ridiculously underrated. But yeah, that one match, I wanted to just try to play a bit more vanilla-like, not use the node too much other than parry vulnerability, because I know if you use the dexterity mastery here and gain precisions, you can also gain some other buffs like Power Gain, which is one of the fun buffs to use here, because Silver Surfer can refresh that Power Gain, and it's a good time. So right there we got that Power Gain. We also have an extra Fury. So now we just need to be able to get this Power Cosmic buff to come back, convert it into the Power Gain, and we refreshed that Power Gain from the node. Really solid stuff in my opinion. I know I'm saying solid a lot, but it truly is. It's a recipe for a lot of damage, and yeah, like that was super strong. 26k medium attack. Granted, there are nodes helping him out, but as you guys were seeing in the Battleground showcases, the damage is still plenty strong. So yeah, I think it's a really cool, I think it's a really cool kit. The general power towards external effects kind of, makes him lacking in other areas in other people's opinions. I personally think he's fine. I like that he's a bit more wide open like Angela is. Angela can convert, or basically looks at all buffs on her, and that allows her to reduce damaging debuff duration, place a bunch of armor breaks on the opponent. He's kind of similar where he has that open-ended kit. It's like, all right, you're going to give me buffs? Well, we'll use them how I like to. Whereas other champs only work with like personal buffs or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think he is a beast, and you guys are seeing some really solid stuff here. The Battleground showcases were probably the most impressive because I feel like that's where he shines with his quick ramp. The 2 heavy attacks to gain the 2 Fury buffs, and then the heavy charge into Special 2. That sorts out most defenders. So, yeah, I think he shines the most in Battlegrounds, but he's generally useful like everywhere. And lastly, we're going to close out this video with an Abyss solo. I wanted to do a Necropolis solo, but I figured Abyss Iron Man would be a good showcase that's not super long, because like if I went to Necropolis, it probably would have been like a 9-minute solo for Odin. I think he can do it, but I just didn't want to do a bunch of attempts to try to make it work. Instead, I wanted to go against Iron Man Infinity War, and the main reason we're here is to show you guys the interaction that Silver Surfer has with the Thor relic. So we are fully ramped now. We have 2 Fury buffs, 2 armor buffs, and now we could just use the combat power rate buff, the power gain buff, to basically refresh all these buffs when we need to. So right here, we could just go in here, heavy attack, and everything's refreshed. So the really cool thing about the aptitude from the Thor relic is that it's just long enough to where we can refresh it with our power gain buff when we convert the power cosmic to that power gain. So right here, you guys will see slow combo, boom, we refresh everything. It's super tight. The timing is really tight, but like I mentioned earlier, the aptitudes increase the potency of that combat power rate buff, as well as increasing the potency of every single buff on Silver Surfer, as well as giving us extra buffs to use for our Special 2 burst damage. So yeah, it's a recipe for a lot of damage in later fights. If I was using a 6-star version of the relic here, I can't remember if I might be just for the showcase, but in long health pools, I can loop Special 3s to re-trigger the existing buffs, the Furies and the armor ups, without losing them, and those would become pretty potent. Like, imagine going against the Captain America in the content creator beta program, where there's the huge health pool. We could really ramp up those aptitudes and juice up our basic attacks really high. It's pretty sweet. And the timing is tight there to get the refresh. I get that, but it's really cool that Silver Surfer works in a way to where he functions with the Thor relic in that regard, to where he can refresh these aptitudes. It's almost like a mini buff for Silver Surfer, because right here we're able to refresh it. If we're in the middle of baiting a special attack, it's going to be a lot harder to refresh that. But as I've been showing you guys, I'm purposely timing it to where there's no special attack I have to bait. I'm in the middle of a combo, so I can just charge a heavy attack mid combo, and yeah. So that Special 2 dealt over 100,000 damage in burst damage, and we're not even counting the special attack hits themselves. It's awesome. This fight is going to be pretty funny near the end, though, because Iron Man Infinity War is still kind of bugged. He's gaining the power gain from his signature ability without having armor up effects, which would have made this a lot easier if he wasn't doing that, but you know, it is what it is. Right here, we're going to go in, get the refresh again, boom, charge into special 2. And the awesome thing about that burst damage is that it's adding an extra avenue of damage. You know, if they have high armor, there's a chance that our, you know, special attacks would, you know, not crit and deal less damage, but the red numbers that we're having, they're helping, and they're allowing us to kind of like bypass the armor just a little bit, because Iron Man Infinity War is a chunky dude. And now you guys are seeing where that power gain's coming from. He's got no armor up effects, and he is spamming special attacks. He's got the armor up effects now. Right there we got the refresh because we can use the phase in the middle of the special 2. And then we dex into a special 2 here, and it did some really solid damage. But we are going to eat a special 3 here, and we are going to survive. Silver Surfer's pretty tanky. I think what helped here was that the armor ups were so enhanced by the aptitudes that you know, we were able to tank the whole special 3. Normally the Abyss special 3, for when I used to do Abyss, it was damn near an auto kill. But yeah, right here I thought the solo was gone, but we had gotten to the point where I showed you everything I wanted to show you, so if we died, wasn't a big deal. But I was like, damn, that's doing like no damage. But then the plasma's really ticking us down. But we'll finish the fight here with an unblockable special 2. So if you guys enjoyed the video on Silver Surfer, let me know down below, and let me know if I changed your mind on him. If you still don't like him, hey, so be it. But I love the champ. But I will see you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.